So excited to talk about CRM.
We are, and we're going to tell you some reasons why a CRM is what you need to grow your business, and actually where you can find one, because we've used a bunch of different ones and we found the best one. We're really excited to tell you about it and why it has made our lives so much easier and so much better.
Well, let's start off with what is a CRM. Actually, I'm going to start off with something else. Having a CRM will increase your revenue by at least 30%. Okay, all of the data shows that small businesses and large corporations that use a CRM, a customer relationship management software, will increase revenue by 30%. So if your business is bringing in, let's say, $50,000 a year, that means you would make an extra $15,000, taking your gross revenue to $65,000. If your gross revenue is $100,000, that 30% increase would take you to like $130,000. So think about that in numbers when you think about why you should use a CRM. So a CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management Software. And if you have a product or service that you sell, you are in the people business. You are in the relationship business. And we're going to talk about how leveraging technology, which is one of our favorite things, automation, can help you be more efficient and help you just build incredible relationships with people so that they want to do business with you. They're referring you great clients, and you have that client for a long time, preferably for a lifetime.
That's right. Yeah. So one of the things that you need to remember is that you can't remember every prospect that you talk to realistically, and it may be somebody who you spoke to a year ago and that the timing just wasn't right for them at that time for your product or service. Having a good CRM is going to make sure that you are constantly in touch with them, or at least that they're I always say, like, emails are kind of like tapping someone on the shoulder. Don't forget, I'm here. I'm here when you need me. And here's some great information. So
yeah, I love that. I love the way you started that. You have to remember that you can't remember every person. It's so true, right? And just having those conversations. And, when it comes to a relationship, listening to someone, when someone feels like you've truly heard them, then that makes them like and trust you more. So if you've had a conversation with someone and you go into your CRM and you write detailed notes, and let's say then you end up having a conversation with them like 90 days later, and you can say, hey, whatever happened, I know your dog wasn't well. Did that work? Is everything okay? You just have a little bit of information where you can ask questions to them so that they know that you were listening to them. And some people say, oh, well, that's, kind of a trick. No, I listen to what people have to say and I genuinely care about them. But like Jeannie said, I just can't remember all the ins and outs of every conversation with every person that I have. But when I get off a call with someone, I can spend, 10 to 15 minutes typing up detailed notes. And then before I speak with them again, I can read those notes. And that makes a big difference. So let's talk about how the technology of a CRM has changed dramatically in the past few years. So I was talking to someone a while back, and it was kind of funny because the conversation was around a CRM, and the person said, oh, it's kind of like a Rolodex. I mean, and if you're really young, you probably don't even know what a Rolodex is, but you'll have to look it up because I'm not going to tell you. But
I had a really expensive, I asked my old company when I worked in corporate it was like an $85 Rolodex. It was ridiculous. And now I actually think I still have it somewhere. But it was the coolest thing at the time.
Yeah, and it's crazy because all it was a wheel that spun around with cards that were attached and alphabetized. It's ridiculous to think that we thought that was great technology and that you wanted a really good one back in the day.
Yeah.
But the Rolodex, to me, I kind of said to him, comparing a Rolodex to a CRM is like comparing someone cooking over an open fire to someone's cooking in a chef's kitchen. They're two very different things, and the output is going to be dramatically different. So the next conversation was, well, I can save contacts and notes in my phone. And I said, yes, you can. And congratulations, you've just moved from cooking over an open flame to cooking on a wood stove. You're still not going to compete with someone who's using a real CRM.
I love
so let's
that.
talk about what that entails.
Yeah, so the CRM that we use, the biggest advantage to it is what Kirsten was alluding to, and that is all your interactions stay in one place. whether that's a text, whether that's a phone call, whether that's an email, whether that's, figuring out where they came from in the first place, whether that's what pages they looked at on your, in your funnel or on your website, notes that you wrote about them when you talked to them, when was the last appointment you had with them, everything. A good CRM has all that information inside of it.
And you brought up a good point with funnels. It used to be that your CRM was one software, and then you had a software for your sales funnel, and then you had a software for your email marketing, and they didn't communicate at all. That has really changed. A really good CRM has funnels built into it. It has email service software. It has text messaging, all built into one place. So if you're sending out emails to someone, like Jeannie said, you can see in one place the entire conversation. I don't know about you guys, but I would guess that I've lost at least a year of my life looking for emails. So I don't know about you guys, but if you've been in business since email came about, I'm very sure you lost a year of your life too, because you're trying to find an email where someone replied to you, or an email that you sent to someone, and you're looking and looking and looking for this email so that before you get on a call with them, you can reference what you spoke about, or they're asking you for something that you had already sent to them. It is crazy how much time we spend looking for communication. And in a CRM, every single communication you've had with each individual contact is together. Text messages, phone calls, email messages, like Jeannie said, the funnels that they've clicked in on, so you know exactly what opt-ins or lead magnets they've gotten from you, all in one place. No more looking for emails.
Yeah, and I can tell you the search in Gmail is not all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes it works well, but sometimes it just doesn't find things. And like you said, I've spent a ridiculous amount of time, wasted time trying to figure out, I know I had a conversation with them. I know we shared emails back and forth, but I have no idea where it is.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating. That the other thing that you made me think of was, it's also a way to keep like all your business stuff in one place. So if you're using Gmail kind of for business and personal, now you can separate those two and keep all your business stuff in the software. Keep your Gmail in Gmail, your personal in Gmail.
Yes. Yeah. And I think what's really cool is, if you are building a lot of funnels, you have different lead magnets and opt-ins, or you have different sales funnels that you're running. It is really nice because when someone opts in for something, it automatically puts all that information into the software. And it's really interesting because, a lot of us have multiple opt-ins. And if you can see people that have opted in and got several of your opt-ins, it tells you that they're really interested in what you're doing. And that's a good cue to reach out personally and say, hey, we've never really spoken in person. I'd love to jump on a call and get to know you better. Are you open for a coffee chat? Or, hey, I saw that you just got our latest XYZ. You must be really interested in growing your business. Would you like to jump on a free discovery call with me? So having all this communication in one place, because again, automation is amazing. Having all of your email sequences go out and all of your weekly emails go out, that's amazing. But being able to figure out who you need to reach out to and when is perfect, because that's what makes a CRM work. That's what allows you to make more money using it, is it gives you a way to know where your client is in the buying cycle. Where's that prospect in the buying cycle? And at what point should I, yes, have automation going out to them, but at what point should I really reach out and start trying to get them on that call with me, taking the initiative to be more engaged with them personally so that I can close that deal.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the software that we love and we use wasn't built for small businesses, but it's so smart and powerful and fabulous that we've incorporated it into our business, and we're going to share it with you closer to the end where you can find out more about it. But the beauty of it is that this is what happens. Somebody opts into whatever freebie you have, whatever opt-in, lead magnet, whatever you want to call it. And as soon as they do, they get tagged, and then they get a series of emails that go to them. And so that part you don't have to worry about. But like Kirsten said, if you are looking at your numbers and some statistics, you can see, this person, requested like 3 of my lead magnets. So they must be interested in what I'm doing. So you have the option then to text them to email them or, leave them a voice message. You can reach out to them via Facebook Messenger. So, you just have all of these things at your fingertips to do manually, but most of the hard work is already automated and done for you, which frees up your time to do some of these things that you want to do, extra things in outreach.
Yes. Yeah. One of the things I love too is back in the day, we'd have to use something like Calendarly or Schedule Once. You use this booking link, which was great. People could book an appointment with you. And I'm so grateful we had that software for the past decade or so. It was amazing. But it just booked that appointment. It didn't really do anything else. So now when someone books a discovery call or a coffee chat with me, they automatically go into the CRM. I know exactly what day they booked and what they booked. And then it gets a series of emails and text messages, which of course they got that with Calendarly or Schedule Once, letting them know, here's a link to your Zoom call, the reminders and things like that. But what happens is now they're in a pipeline. And what a pipeline tells me is this is how many discovery calls I have this week. This is how many coaching calls I have this week. And I don't know if you guys have used Trello, but in Trello, you move a card across the board. So you know exactly where it is in each stage. That's the way our software works. So if I have a coffee chat booked with someone today and they don't show up, have the opportunity to obviously text them and say, hey, are you having trouble getting into Zoom? But if they still don't show up, I just drag that card over to no-show, and then that prompts an entire series of emails and text messages that are going to go out to say, hey, I know life gets really busy and sometimes things just get in the way. I'd love to still jump on that coffee chat with you. Here's the link to rebook. So you're going to kind of keep reminding them until you get them back on that call with you. Or if it's a discovery call and someone purchased from you, you move that over to sold, and then that triggers an entire series of welcome emails and next step emails. And it's so amazing. Or if you talk to them and they're a really hot lead, they're perfect. You slide that over to hot lead, and it triggers another whole series of emails that are going to go out to nurture them, to remind them what you do and how you can solve their problem. And that's going to help them, again, get back on a call with you or to go ahead and make the purchase from you. And so it's amazing to have all of that in one place and to be able to see like that where someone is in a cycle of emails. Like, what are they getting? What text messages, what campaigns are they on? And to know that you have control over that pipeline. And you can, with your pipeline, you can also estimate revenue that's coming in. So many small business owners, they set goals, but then they never track their numbers. So if you can see in your pipeline that you have $100,000 worth of, possible business sitting there, people that you've talked to, that's going to motivate you to re-engage with them. It's going to motivate you to call them. Oh gosh, forbid you actually pick up the phone and call someone, but it's going to get you actually making contact with them so that you can close that business. And the other thing is with the pipeline and the dashboard, it also tracks your closing rate. Because again, it's really important to know how many people do you have to speak with in order to close one person. Is it 10 people? Is it 5 people? Is it 20 people? And then as a salesperson, which if you own a business, you're a salesperson, sorry, but you are. But it allows you to try to figure out how can you improve your close rate? How can you become a better salesperson? I just signed up for an online class on NLP because I think that's just such a positive class on communication with other people. So I think for those of us that are in business, we're always looking at how we can improve, our communication and especially our sales communication.
Yeah, and those are all numbers that business owners should be tracking, but don't always track because you get behind and you think, oh, I made a sale, but now I've got to move into the next step and do all the follow-up to, I need to collect some information from them, or I need them to book, their meeting or, whatever. It's kind of that stuff that's really important, that makes you look really professional, that makes it so that you can charge a higher amount for your fees or your programs because you are totally buttoned up and ready to go. So I love that.
One of the things I like too, which again is not a fancy feature, but it is a feature that I think has a huge impact on our business, is task. So in other words, it's a task related to a contact. So Jeannie and I sent out a proposal for a pretty large contract project that we're going to work. Hopefully we're going to land this week. And we sent that out on Friday afternoon. So for me, my task was yesterday to text the prospect and just say, hey, wanted to find out if you had any questions about the proposal. And because it went out on Friday afternoon, she had not seen it yet. She said, oh, I must have missed it. And a few minutes later, I got a message back saying, hey, I just found it. I'll review it and get back with you. So the communication is really important, because if I hadn't reached out to her, she may have just thought that we didn't send it. She may have not known to look for it. So having these little bits of communication and knowing exactly where you are in a conversation with someone's really important. So I, of course, sent out a message today saying, oh, I'm so glad you found it. Remember, I'm here if you have any questions. So in just setting these little tasks, I mean, we just set a task the other day for January of 2022. So again, it's something that revolves around a specific client, someone who's in our CRM. It's something we need to do for them in January. So we just put it as a task. And so every day, Jeannie and I log in just to see what task we have. And it's just, it just keeps you so organized, and it saves you so much time. And it makes you look like a rock star.
It does. It totally does. And it's absolutely what all these people you're following use, who've got these huge audiences and are selling these huge programs and are making, $1 million a month. This is what they have. But we're going to talk to you a little bit later about how affordable it can be, because you're in your mind, you're probably thinking, holy crap, I don't have $1,500 a month to spend. But to Kirsten's point, it was funny because the task that for something that we needed to remember in January, Kirsten wrote it as a task under that contact. And I had it on my notes. So I went and looked up the contact, and I was going to do the same thing, but then I realized it was already there. So, great minds think alike, but it was good
or we need better communication between each other.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the other thing is that the story that Kirsten was talking about the client from Friday is that she, like Kirsten followed up with her on Monday, and she, like she said, didn't see the email. Well, in her mind, she could have been thinking, well, they promised that to me on Friday and they didn't get it to me. So all these negative associations with us and our business that are totally unfounded and untrue, but she's thinking, so when Kirsten prompted herself to reach out again to double check, it was like, oh, no, it's here. Oh, so I can let all that go. All those things were wrong. So, it's also, a reputation in that way.
Yes, absolutely. And it's really funny because if you've been in business long enough and you're honest, you've lost deals. We all have, because you forgot to follow up with someone, or you realized you forgot to follow up and then you felt like, oh, it's so long. I'm embarrassed to follow up. So these are the types of things that cost small business owners a lot of money. I mean, obviously, big companies have this type of technology and have for ages, but for smaller businesses, having this type of technology so that you can, run your business efficiently, not miss out on things, not have a million to-do lists written all over different, notepads and things. And it helps you make more money. It also helps you build your confidence because you don't miss things. And it helps you build your confidence because you keep your word. If you say you're going to do something in January of 2022, you're going to do it. It's right there and you don't have to worry about it. And I think that just makes a huge difference for so many people. And the other thing is, it's what allows you to build a team, right? So when you have automation in place and you're leveraging technology, it allows you to bring on virtual assistants or to bring on team members and then have a structure that they can work within. One of our goals, for 2022 is to hire another salesperson for our program, because I do all the sales calls now and it can get a little busy. So hired a salesperson, but we'll have an entire structure to train them on, as well as we'll be able to look to see who they spoke with, what do their notes look like, what tasks do they have. And it's not so much that we want to micromanage them, but we want to be able to coach them so that they can do a better job, make more sales, and earn more money themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this particular software, you reminded me of something. You can set up so that if Kirsten's still doing sales and somebody else is doing sales, it will look on a calendar to see if Kirsten's booked, and if she is, it could move to the next person. So, I mean, it's really crazy intuitive. And, like you said, it kind of takes some onus off of you, some stress off your shoulders, because sometimes we're just acting on instinct, I suddenly remember that I talked to, so-and-so last week and I was supposed to do this for them. but now you actually have data, you have reminders, you have tasks, you have, everything you need in one place. So when you're ready, you're not working on a project or working with a client or a prospect, you jump in the software and you look on the pipeline and you look in your tasks and you see, what do I need to be working on? So it just takes some of the responsibility is the word I'm thinking of, off of your shoulders and out of your head.
Yeah, it takes the mental weight because there's a structure for it. You don't have to keep everything in your brain. Yeah. So when Jeannie and I, our program helps our clients learn how to leverage video marketing, how to repurpose their content. We teach them how to hire virtual assistants overseas. And so we're really into automation and technology. And when we built our program, we didn't really have any intention of teaching this whole module and setting up this whole software system to help people. And we ended up doing that because, again, every time something new comes out that what makes your life easier, makes your business run more smoothly, you should definitely look into it. And for us, whenever something comes out like that, we want to integrate it into our program so that we can teach other business owners how to do that. So there are free CRMs out there. So if you're brand new and you're just starting your business, that would be great. HubSpot has a great CRM. HubSpot is a huge marketing agency and they do a fantastic job. But we have found the way we use our software, it runs around $150 a month for the CRM, for Mailgun, which makes sure your mail gets delivered, and for Twilio, so you can make sure you can do text messaging. So if you have that kind of money, I highly encourage you to check out the software that we're going to talk about. In fact, let's just talk about it.
Okay, hit it.
So the way you can consider the software is two ways. First of all, it's called Go High Level. And we are an affiliate for them. We will put an affiliate link in there for you. And it's an amazing software. It is an agency software. And when Jeannie and I first signed up for it ages ago, Jeannie's a tech person. She's tech savvy. But because this software is an agency software, it just had a lot of bells and whistles, and it took a lot to wrap our heads around it. Because again, it's an all-in-one. It's where you can build your sales funnels. It's where we host our course. So if you want to host a course or a membership site or subscription site, anything like that, this is all in one. It's our booking links. It's everything in one place. So it's a lot more than just a CRM. So that's one way that you can check out the software. The other thing that Jeannie and I had no intention of doing was we actually ended up becoming basically an agency within the software, because we found that when we were referring the software to our clients, it was really complicated for them to use. And so what we realized is if we set our software up as an agency, we could offer accounts to our clients who are in our program where we could set a lot of it up for them. So we're able to import all of their leads. We're able to set up their booking links for their coffee calls and their discovery calls. And we have all those email sequences already done for them. They just have to tweak them a little bit based on their marketing message. And we built their funnels inside of there for them. So for us, that made sense. It wasn't something we had ever intended to do, but it was what helped our clients the most. So that's the two ways that you can learn more about it. You can just check out our link for High Level, or you can book a call with me, and I'd be happy to tell you more about what we do and how we help our clients with automation and hiring a virtual assistant and learning how to really market your business so you're bringing in the right leads, bringing in quality leads.
Yeah. So we'll also train you on the software, where's the pipeline? How does that get set up? And that's actually automated and how it gets set up, but you can add people manually if you need to. But we've also got all the campaigns. And when we talk about a campaign, we used to just call it an email sequence, but now it's more than that. It's like we said, emails, voice messages, text messages. It can be Facebook Messenger messages. So all of that is in a campaign, but we have them all set up for you. You just need to tweak them. So, again, we were looking at what was best for our clients and how to best help them. And sometimes you just need somebody to get you started. You need a structure or just the framework.
Yes. So if you guys have any questions at all, we're happy to answer those questions. If you want to jump on a call with me, I'm happy to speak with you. And, we have a strong belief that not everybody's meant to be our client, right? So when you jump on a call with us, it is not about us trying to sell you on what we do. It's a conversation about what you do in your business and what we do. And then we determine if what we do is a good fit for you, and then we can talk about that. Obviously, it's always up to you as to what you choose to do, but I'm happy to talk to you about both options of just going directly and getting the software from the company, or going through us and using our software that we've white labeled that we have the ability to set up for you and help manage for you. So that's, entirely up to you. But the whole goal is to help you grow your business and to help you realize that those people that are making a lot of money and doing, all these great numbers, they're doing it by leveraging technology, and they're doing it by learning how to outsource. And that's our passion, is to help people realize that there's nothing wrong with you. I know you have this running to-do list and all these things that you have to do, and there's just not enough hours in the day. And the people who are doing all these amazing things, it's not because they're better than you. It's not because they're superheroes. It's simply because they're outsourcing and leveraging technology.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, and just a little history, we've used a lot of different softwares, and we saw somebody called it duct taping your business together. So it was, I have an email company, and I have a funnel company, and then I have a scheduling company, and
I have a CRM.
I have a CRM. And the beauty of having it all in one, some people would say, oh no, I would never do that. But the beauty of it is you don't have one company saying, when something's not working, you don't have one company saying, oh, it's their fault, and them saying, no, it's their fault. And then you're stuck with something that doesn't work.
Right.
Or, somebody updates their software and now something changed with the connection, and you're constantly spending time, trying to duct tape it, trying to fix it, tape it all together and make it work.
Yes.
So
I know, looking back, like let's say 24 months, and this company's been around longer than that. We just learned about it about a year ago. But looking back 2 to 3 years ago, I don't think I could have imagined this software. And that sounds crazy, but and that's how amazing it is to have a software where everything is integrated. When someone signs up for an opt-in, they're in your CRM, and then your emails go out, or someone books a call, that's all integrated. To be able to have our program, all of our modules, our virtual assistant training modules, as well as our, training for our clients, all in one place. To have everything in one place, it's like a dream come true. I must have really small dreams.